Hi, I'm James Ross.
And this is UK Ride Review, a series of rollercoaster reviews for the Ride Guide where I look at the best and worst of British rides and all the others in between.
If there's one thing that coaster enthusiasts are good at, it's hype. Now as soon as any single piece of information is released about there possibly, maybe being a new ride somewhere, fanboys are ready to spam up the internet with
"Oh my god, it's going to be an Intermin Giga Mega Coaster with 300 miles an hour and 25 loops, triple exclamation mark, mega lols."
So then in the end, what you get isn't what everyone wanted, but really it suits the park's needs best. This is the story of 13 in a nutshell. The death of the corkscrew was lamented by many, including some people who didn't even like it in the first place. To replace the corkscrew, Alton Towers promised a world's first coaster. Now, to an enthusiast, Alton Towers plus world's first starts a torrent of jumping to conclusions and false guesses. What we ended up with is 13, a ride which spells its name with numbers in order to be interesting.
The purpose of Th13teen is to provide thrills for the younger audience who want to take on the likes of Nemesis and Oblivion, but haven't yet reached that golden height of 1.40 m.
Unfortunately, a lot of people were misled by the advertising, which implied that 13 was a hardcore thrill ride with terrifying horror elements. But they sort of had to. I mean, imagine watching an advert like this.
13. It's scary, but not too much. And little kids can ride it too.
Actually, on second thoughts, that sounds more creepy for all the wrong reasons. On arrival in the Dark Forest, you're greeted by the rethemed Rita, which still looks out of place, but less out of place than a dragster in a prehistoric world. 13 Station is presumably supposed to look like a church that's been taken over by roots. It all looks quite good with the Gothic-looking architecture until you look past that and see the scaffolding.
Okay, I sort of get the thing they were going for. They were renovating an old building, hence the scaffolding, but the forest is haunted, so bad stuff happens, etc, etc. On a ride like Hex, this sort of thing works because it's got a backstory in the scaffolding and all the renovation stuff is justified. In 13, it doesn't have a backstory because the designers didn't expect guests to have to keep up with one in order to enjoy the ride. So all this theming just makes it look unfinished.
Before we enter the queue, you may encounter some wraiths, which are these hooded characters. It's a small touch, but it's good that Alton have thought about costume characters. Whether they stay or not is another matter.
13's queue moves deceptively quickly, and if it reaches the entrance you should expect a queue for just over an hour.
There's nothing particularly special in the queue. There are occasional items of scenery dotted around, but at least as you're travelling through you feel like you're making some progress, unlike Rita's, which feels like it was designed by giving a marker pen to a 3-year-old.
So before we go inside, we have to exchange our bags for a wristband at the baggage area, except last time when I got given a little playing card thing with a number on it. Yeah, that's secure for anyone who doesn't have pockets. Anyway, inside there's a large Tesla coil that, once in a while, does this. There isn't much inside queuing, so you're on the train very quickly.
So 13 starts with a fairly mediocre hill. Mediocre mainly because of this trim brake, here to kill everyone's joy. The track curves round, and we negotiate another hill. There's a trim brake there, and there. They are rather annoying as they kill the pace a bit. There are a couple more curves, followed by this transition, which is rather fun. And we're almost done with the outdoor section. It's not very long, and it's not very interesting. The indoor section, however, which contains the world's first element, is much more fun.
The indoor section works best when you don't know what's about to happen, so if you've not ridden 13 and you plan to, then skip to this bit in the video.
Anyway, since it's dark inside, there's not much to see on the video. We enter the ride building and there's some scenery on the walls, some lighting and some sound effects. The first thing that happens is a false drop. Now. Then there's the real drop, which is the track and the train dropping several metres. The train is immediately launched backwards into a tunnel. The train is currently navigating a helix, you'll just have to trust me on that one. Before we exit the ride building and come back into daylight. Not content with just driving the train slowly back to the station, Alton Towers has one last surprise. It's not strong by any measure, but it's an interesting touch.
I think really I would have liked a bit more of the indoor section, but what's there does a fine job anyway. What makes this indoor section so good is the speedy transitions and the technology that allows it. Because once you've comprehended that you've just fallen vertically, you're now travelling backwards into a pitch black tunnel. John Wardley offers a technical explanation of this section here on the Ride Guides YouTube channel.
Of course, being modern Alton Towers, they'll make you walk through the gift shop on the way out.
Yeah, you can buy a little cup that says I survived 13. I don't know why I would ever want to, but I can.
Ratings. Visual appeal and theme. All the indoor theming is satisfactory. The station exterior looks quite good from certain angles, but the scaffolding makes it look a little tatty even though it's meant to be there. The outdoor section could do with something to immerse you in the ride a little.
For visual appeal and theme, 13 gets 6.
Design and operation.
13 has been quite prone to breakdowns, but that's my only criticism of it in this category. The technology of the indoor section worked very well to keep the pace up, and even though the baggage holding area is a little bit of a faff, it keeps the faff out of the station, where loading and unloading is very important to keep the high throughput that 13 has. So for this I'm giving 13 a 9.
The physical ride. The outdoor section has those trims which annoy me, but the rest of the layout isn't too bad for the space the designers had to work with. The indoor section is quite fun and has the ability to take you by surprise. If you have ridden it before, it can still be fun, but the element of surprise really makes this more thrilling.
So I'm giving 13 a 7.
Overall, 13 is a fun, well-designed ride. If you look past the view of a thrill ride and appreciate it for the audience it's trying to cater for, it really does what it was supposed to quite well. My score for 13 is 7 out of 10.